Chau, it's awesome to talk to you again. I was excited when I was chosen to be able to introduce you. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing really well. You've got quite a few accolades under your belt. It's leading a lot of people to believe that you're like a clone. There's more than one Chau, right? I mean, I'm just looking over this stuff here, right? Creator of AutoMapper, ng-neat Tailwind for Angular, core member of Nest.js, founder of Angular Vietnam's Meetup, blogs, live streams, and you've created forks of stuff I've done on live stream and come on my streams to talk about. You're everywhere, man. Congratulations. It's awesome to be able to talk to you.
Thank you.
It's you're one of my favorite members of the community. I will totally admit that. Part of the meetup, we like to ask questions.
Yeah. Okay.
That are a little bit off the programming path, right? So the first question we have is like, if you weren't a programmer but had any other career out there, what do you think that career would be?
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be I don't know, something like in the field of therapist.
Therapist, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I'm a good listener.
Fair. Very, very true. Fair. You are a good listener. That's awesome. And then, so, I'm a little bit of a Twitter stalker of yours, and I saw amazing pictures of your trip to Vietnam and your little boy. What was your favorite part of that trip?
The favorite part is the food, of course. Get to see family, get to enjoy the cuisine there with them. And now that I'm back here, I miss the weather.
Oh, yeah.
It's never below 70.
Oh man.
It's hot, but it's nice. It's better than cold,
Oh man, that picture that you took of your little boy with those prawns.
Oh yeah. That's a funny one. I made that into a meme.
Yeah, absolutely. But oh man, that made my mouth water seeing prawns that big. Those are awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited to see your talk. I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Yeah. Be prepared to be disappointed.
What? No, I wasn't disappointed. I'm looking forward to a real example. So,
okay. So let me share my screen first. All right. Hi everyone. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes. I can see your screen.
Yeah. Okay. So the talk is a lightning talk, so I have about 10-15 minutes. But it's kind of on the advanced side of things. Apologize in advance if it's too, I go through things too quickly. So to save times, I've already init an Angular project from the Angular CLI. This is Angular 15, and I'm already subbing it from 4200. So the topic of today is ngTemplateOutlet plus injector, because this is a new feature that's got added into in Angular 14 that got overshadowed by the standalone and the inject function and all that cool stuff. So here I am going to show you, I'll introduce you to this new feature and what you can do with it. All right. So to start off with, this is just some dummy component. I have a foo component, a bar component, and a content component. On top of that, I have a injection token, and this is just a string. So for the foo component, I'm going to provide a value called from foo. And on the bar, I'm going to provide a value called from bar. And then for the content, I'm just going to inject that value. And I'm going to just show that value, or it's a not wrapped. All right. So now I'm going back to my component. And here I'm going to say foo to render the foo. And then I say content. Save that. And go back to this and also add the bar. Let's see. Bar, save that. What do you scream? More than one. Oh yeah. There we go. Save. All right. So you can see that because content is being wrapped inside of foo, it get the injected value from foo. If it wrapped inside of bar, it get the injected value from bar. So this is a concept of dependency injection and content projection, where a lot of like UI libraries authors is using so that they can provide stuff from the parent to the child component based on what parent that is. All right. Now, what if you say the bar component and you want to have some different layout every time you use the bar component, right? But you still want the consumer to be able to pass in whatever content they want. So I'm going to go back here and say, hey, I want a new component, and I call this custom bar, and this is custom bar. Right. And on the bar component, on the custom bar component, there we go. I'm just going to render the bar. Port. And instead of here, I do ng-content, and I want to do, okay, this is going to be wrapped inside a class called content container, and the styling would be content container, padding 1 rem, border 1 pixels, dotted red, border radius of something like that, right? And now if I go back to app component and say custom bar, put in content, and it will say that. Now, there's one problem though. My custom bar is wrapping around the bar component. So I am expecting the consumer's content is going to have the value from the bar providers. But because this is how content projection work in Angular, when the Angular compiler sees this template and it's going to establish the context for the content component with the parent being the app component. The custom bar component, it doesn't have any providers, so that's why the content cannot inject anything from the bar component. And then it gets rendered, right? And then the ng-content just project the already rendered content. So now how do we fix this? A lot of people is going to say, oh, you're going to use the service to pass this value around, blah, 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 right? But there's a better way, which requires some boilerplate. Now, so back to this point, what we want to do, if you go through the thought process, what do we want to do? We kind of want to like defer the rendering of this content by wrapping it inside of ngTemplate. So when you wrap something inside of ngTemplate, you kind of defer the instantiation of it. So that's the first step. I'm going to go back to the custom bar component. Now that I have the ngTemplate as my content, I can do a content child and query for that template ref. And it's going to be static, Chau template ref. Let's just say unknown. All right. Now, instead of ng-content, I'm going to do an ng-container. I do ngTemplateOutlet. I think I need to import it. So ngTemplateOutlet. Pass in the template, and I'm going to save. I'll go back here. My content is back, but it's still not wrapped. One more step is instead of bar component, let's expose the injector say injector. Back here, we're going to grab the bar instance. And there's an input, the new input ng-templateOutletInjector. And we can pass the bar injector for this template outlet. Save. Now go back here and now I get from bar. So that's the gist of it. If I'm too fast, and I'm sorry, it's Jason, right? Ask me to go back. That's how I'll go back.
You're doing good, Chau. It looks
Okay.
amazing.
Okay, so this is the gist of it. You can do it in different ways. It depends on how you want to start rendering this template. So the injector input is a new input on the ng-templateOutlet. If you want to do it from the TypeScript side of thing, you can also do that. If I have a, let's say I want to have like a VCR, I'm not going to inject anything. I just want to show the API. You can do this .vcr or view container ref and do create embedded view, pass in the template, skip the context, and then there's an option. There's also injector. So you can also do it this way. All right, if you don't want to grab this bar thing. All right. So now that is the dummy example, which I got I got burned in on the last Friday. So I prepared like a more real life or more a more practical use case. All right, let's switch my All right. So now I have some tabs component. Let me, is this okay? All right. So this is the tab component where you render the tabs, right? And then you render content. You can switch to the tab and it will show the content of each tab. And this is the same tabs component, but with Bootstrap styling. All right. I'm gonna go back here. This is my app tab group. This is my app Bootstrap tab group. And the idea is that, okay, you have this tab group, the consumers of this tab group component is gonna pass in the tab panel and it's gonna configure the tab headers as well as the content. So the tab group has some stylings, has some ng4, right? Has some an array of tab panel, and it has add tab panel, remove tab panel, and select item. So you can select between the tabs. And the tab panel is just an ng template with an ng content, and it can inject the parent tab group, right? And then on init, I would just add myself. The tab panel is going to add itself to the parent tab panel list, and on destroy, just remove itself. So pretty simple, right? And then for the Bootstrap tab group, what you do is just, hey, I have this provider. I want to provide a tab group, and I want to use the existing tab, this class right here. So I want to use the existing tab group, PS tab group instance for that provider. So when I use the Bootstrap tab group, my tab panel is gonna be able to inject the tab group instance that I provide here. So this one is the original component, and this one is more like a composition, right? You just or inheritance, whatever you want to say, that you want to inherit some features from the original tab group, but with a different template. Now, same idea, I want to custom the tab group with that new the template thing, tab group component TS, right? As custom tab group. I'm not going to extend anything, and I'm also not going to custom tab group send along to template. Go. And of course, I want to use the app tab group. And I want to do diff class tabs container and do ng-content. And for the styles, I don't know if I have it. If not, then the tabs container display. Okay. Sorry, not that, but it's going to be host ng-div. Sorry. It's going to be tab header, I believe. Tab header, yeah. Save that. Okay, let's see if it works. So now I'm gonna go back to app component. I'm gonna copy this. And this is going to be custom tab group. Save. Back here. You see I have an error. It's saying, oh, the tab panel doesn't find any tab group to inject. All right, so same idea, you do ng-template. The tab group, content child, all right, template ref, static to template ref, and no. And now, where is the injectors come from? Where does the injector come from? Let's assume that the tab group component is something that you cannot control. So you cannot just go inside of that component and expose the injector. Right. One trick you can do now, because the app tab group is part of the view of the custom tab group, I can actually do view child. I do the tab group, but I'm going to read the view container ref out of it. And now I have the tab group VCR, view container ref. And then I have the injector will be equal injector. It's going to be injector on ng on init. I'll just say this dot injector equal this dot tab group dot injector. I'm gonna explain in a moment why this using this injector directly on the template doesn't work. Then I have an ng container, ngTemplateOutlet with the template injector injector. Save. And now you can see that I have the tab parent. Right. So why didn't I just use the tab group VCR.injector? And let's just see tab group.injector. You will see that my tab's broken. I cannot change tab anymore. The reason why is the injector here is actually a getter, and every time you click, the getter gets reevaluated, and this getter returns a new no injector every time. So it's a new reference every time. So your ngTemplateOutlet get change detected every time. So it just re-render everything. So you cannot like do the change tab because the old tabs get destroyed. So that's one caveat, is that you have to be aware of the inputs. Right. So now you can customize whatever you want with this custom tab group, and still have the consumer control what they put inside of this tab group. And that concludes my presentation.
Wow. This is the second time I've seen this talk, and it gets better every time, Chau.
Thank you.
That's incredible. The fact that you're grabbing the injector from the injected injected content and allowing that to style the component itself.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Styling, it probably should be done with CSS, but
right.
I run into cases where, let's say I have a math tabs component, and I want to wrap the tabs parent component, but I still want my the consumers like control what they put inside of those tabs, because in my wrap component I have some layout, I have some flex layout and stuff like that. So CSS you can probably override and change anywhere, but like the template layout is tricky.
And you also showed some examples with Angular 3.js, right? And this is kind of, it's another library that Chau maintains. And you came up with this idea for that library, right? But
I changed.
Oh, you changed. Oh, I'm giving bad information. I'm sorry.
it is the current way, and I feel like it's good for the consumers, but it's not good for me. It's not maintainable for me.
Okay.
Because every time I create a new wrapper, then I have to jump through all these hoops again. But I'm rewriting the Angular 3 with the custom renderer approach.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm going to be sharing sometime. It's working.
Wow.
It's working. And Andrew and Andrew from the Angular team helps me a lot with it.
Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat, a lot of people are like, I'm gonna have to watch this 2 or 3 times to understand, to be able to even ask questions.
It's a little advanced with like all the dependency injection stuff. But yeah, it's a very powerful tool.
Like, I've been doing dependency injection, and this is next level from what I've been doing. And so, yeah, I can't wait for the replay of both this and the ng-conf talk you gave, so that I can go back and digest this again. Or maybe I'll put in a little plug for a blog article.
I mean, if you have any questions at all, chat as well, and you know where to find me, hit me up. My inbox is always open.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Chau. That was amazing.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, everyone.